Right guys, welcome to the channel. As you can see, I have purchased myself another piece of faulty equipment. So currently I'm doing some work and there is a requirement for a cement mixer. Now I could hire one for 1 to 2 days possibly. I think that's all that's required. But then that got me thinking, could I buy a used one? So I checked all the various places online for used cement mixers. Unfortunately, they were coming out a little bit over the 2-day hire pricing. However, there was a number of spares and repair or faulty cement mixers. I happened to come across this particular cement mixer and it was priced roughly around a day's hire, which was even better. Now, speaking with the seller, to me, I honestly thought this would be a very, very simple repair. However, that wasn't quite the case. So what I did was remove the cover from the electrical box, and I'm looking for any loose wires, shorts, or possibly crimps in the wiring. Within there as well, I've got a start capacitor, and I'm going to check this with a multimeter to make sure that it is actually working as it should do. This is where I believe the fault could lie. Now, my multimeter doesn't have a capacitor setting, but it does have a resistance setting, which most multimeters do. So first things first, what I'm going to do is make sure that my leads or my probes are in good working order, which they are. Next, I'm going to set the multimeter to the highest resistance setting on my meter. Next, I'm going to take the capacitor and discharge it, and I do that by placing a screwdriver across the two terminals. So what I'm going to do next is connect the probes to the capacitor terminals, and what I should see is a very low resistance reading, which will then gradually increase. So judging by that little investigation, I can see that that capacitor is within spec, so that is not our issue. So what I do next is move on to the switch, and I'm thinking, or hoping should I say, that there's maybe a failure in the switch. But unfortunately the switch is working as expected, so no failure there. That means there can only be really one other area for a possible fault, and that is within the motor, which is not something I was hoping for. Now, a quick search online and you can find replacement motors for these particular cement mixers. They come as a motor gearbox assembly, however they're quite costly, which completely blows my budget out for hiring a cement mixer. So this is really, really disappointing, and I'll be honest, at this point I did think about not even continuing with the video, but we're here, so why not remove the motor and have a look to see what's going on inside. Now, once I got this motor on the bench and carried out a little investigation, it was quite evident to see that the windings were in good condition. However, the ends, or the tail ends where the wires connect to them, were broken. So there was a little bit of hope for this motor yet. So what I proceeded to do was clean the winding ends and also the tail ends of the wiring, and then resolder them back together. These end wires are a little bit on the rigid side, so there's a likelihood that they're gonna break again. I don't even know if this is going to work, so yeah, I think I'm best just to cut these off. Let's get some clean wire See what happens. Come on. That one needs to go there. It's got a connection. These two need to be wound together. Right. Okay. I'm going to try and tidy this up and yeah, get it back to how it was. See how we get on. Right. I'm happy with that. I guess wire it up, see what happens. Two will do for now. That one goes there, that one goes there. Capacitor. Kind of rushing through this because I want to see whether it works. Being a bit optimistic here. Power's on. I'm a bit nervous. I don't really want to turn it on. I don't want to know. I'll do one last check. Oh, I'm nervous. Right. Ooh. Which I didn't have before. But it's not turning. Right, we're going to give this another shot. So I've gone over all the soldered areas that I've done, just rechecked them, resoldered them. I've also replaced this bit of loom as well, just because there's some kinks in it here, and yeah, the continuity was good, but yeah, I just changed it because yeah, I don't know what else. But while I was doing that, I noticed that well, the lead come off for one of the windings as well. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. Capacitor. Right, that is all wired in. Let's plug it in, see what happens. It wants to go, but oh, that's so disappointing. Oh shit! Excuse me. Holy shit! It could be the fact that I haven't got the casing on. I don't think it is. I think it's more to do with the startup windings. It's... I don't know. Yeah, as long as it gets a spin, it's good. And that might be good enough for me. So, yeah. I'm going to plug it back into the mixer and see what happens. Moment of truth. So there we have it, and I'm as surprised as anyone. I tested the motor numerous times on the start button, and every single time it started up first try. So it must have been the fact that the motor's end cap wasn't installed. So possibly the rotor was out of alignment, which was causing the struggle in the motor turning over.